Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Winning Agenda. My name's Jesse Muehlman-Marshall, and I have here with me two very special guests to have a chat about a very special painting. So let me introduce here Lindsey Crummett, one of the Sorcery Contested Realm artists who has joined us here in Melbourne, Australia, all the way from New Zealand. Might not seem like a long way for those of you on the other side of the world, but let us assure you it is actually quite a trip. So thank you, Lindsey, for making the trip over. And then we've got Erik Olofsson, the creator of Sorcery Contested Realm, who is here to have a bit of a chat to us both about the art process and, very excitingly, about the card behind the art as well. So Lindsey, before we reveal the painting, do you want to just tell us a little bit about the process that led to this, perhaps maybe the brief or the instructions you got, and then how you went about creating this piece?
Do you want to hear it before it's revealed?
Yeah,
Like I should describe it before it's revealed?
Or do you want to reveal it first? Do you want to reveal first?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, let's reveal. All right, so let's do the reveal. We'll get this piece ready. Wow. All right, so what's this one called?
This is called Coin Nixie.
And yeah, a little bit about the brief and how you went about composing this piece.
Yeah. Erik is always great with his briefs. He leaves a lot of room to play and kind of do research. And when he first mentioned that it was meant to have a bit of, there's meant to be some beauty in the character, but also something that you're a little bit uneasy about, a little bit fearful. So she's a bit scary. And I really was excited to do this piece because I have a deep love for fae and folklore. So I started reading about nixies and water spirits and really wanted to have a play with kind of, because the character can actually transform. You can see she's sort of mid-transformation in the piece, and so she's got her tail. And we've actually, in New Zealand, I live near a little waterway that has lots of eels in it, and I'm always inspired by lots of eels in the waterways near me. So instead of the typical kind of mermaid or any kind of feel like that, I wanted to give it that little bit creepier vibe with a kind of nod to an eel tail. And try to really play up the something alluring about her, but also you don't want to get too close.
Yeah. That's awesome. And in terms of the colors, I mean, it's sort of a beautiful turquoise, aquamarine look. How did you end up landing on that?
With a lot of fae and fairy kind of mythology, it's so centered around nature, and so I really wanted to get that rich feeling of mosses and riversides and forest, and so I really wanted to have it be a really rich kind of green with, even though the water's a bit murky, that's, like those types of rivers that you see, the beautiful and clear in spaces, but a bit murkier in others, so just wanted to play up the real nature green to it. Yeah.
Awesome. And is there anything else you wanted to add about the materials or how you went about composing it?
It's oils, just like all of my pieces are, and it worked really well for this because I really liked the fluidity of oils for making something that has anything to do with water. And of course, I enjoyed adding the little extra bits of creep at the bottom with a skull and swords and bones under the water, just to make sure you know that she's not all that nice.
That's awesome, and I think that's a really good segue because, of course, one of the things about Sorcery Contested Realm cards is that the regular versions will have the text box covering up perhaps some of those things at the bottom, but of course, in the full art foil version and here on the original painting, we can see everything that's lurking there beneath the water. So speaking of the card, we're actually going to now show you the card, the Coin Nixie, and then we'll come back and hear a bit from Erik about the card and the design. So we'll give you just a few seconds to have a look at the card up there on the screen, and then we'll go over to Erik for his thoughts. We've got a big crowd here behind the live stream, all just trying to crowd around the computer and see that. That's awesome. So we will have that back at the end, but we're going to go straight to Erik now, Isaac, and hear Erik's thoughts on some of that card design. So Erik, the Coin Nixie, people will have seen there, has this ability to, as Lindsey sort of alluded to, bring in the enemies towards it with its alluring charm. But there are some interesting sort of game design philosophy things behind this particular card that I think you wanted to touch on.
Yeah, so when it comes to sorcery and the square grid and just the general movement and sort of how we design abilities to be easy to use, it's something that since the game is new, the design team understanding of how to make things easy for a player and how to make effects useful has developed. So if you compare this one to Guile Sirens, you have the once per turn ability, which makes it a lot more flexible. For example, you can move the Sirens and then use the ability instead of having it trigger just at the start of the turn. So that would hopefully make it sort of let you do the trick, let you use the tricky nature of water to your full advantage.
And just like the Guile Sirens, the Nixie has Submerge as well. So you could potentially start off under the water, move the Nixie up to the surface, and then trigger the pull ability later.
Yes, that would be one of the things to make Submerge actually work. Like, you move up from Submerge, and then you still get to use the ability. So that's one of those concerns.
That's a pretty big upgrade. Yeah, it's very, very cool. And was there anything else about the design of this card within the context of Arthurian Legends, or just in water generally, that you want to touch on before we finish up?
I guess another thing with Arthurian Legends was that we wanted to make water cards more generally useful and not just be part of the, flood the realm entirely. So it's useful sort of in itself. Like, it has Submerge, but it's also useful especially in limited formats by itself. So
That's awesome. Well, thank you, Erik, for sharing your thoughts. Thank you, Lindsey, for being here and revealing the painting. And thank you all for watching and enjoying. We'll see you next time.